Welcome to the carousel. I am John. Also MusiM. With me I have Jake.
I have nothing clever this week.
Well, that's normal. Now I have Randy.
Yeah, I'm jamming on that remix, man. I like that. I hadn't heard that yet.
Oh, you hadn't? Oh. Well, there you go. That's our 2017 song.
It's real good.
Man. I'm into it. I'm digging the guitars and stuff.
Yep.
People seem to like guitar. I probably should play mine more.
It's the most popular instrument on earth. Okay.
Oh, man.
Onward.
So if you have never listened to the carousel, we just talk about how awesome the guitar is for an hour.
I could do that.
Then we get off here. And no, that's not what we do.
That's another stream.
We talk about it sometimes. No, we talk about movies, games, TV shows, pop culture stuff. I say pop culture, our pop culture stuff, which because it's
not necessarily popular. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a confusing thing because it is popular, but it's not like Transformers movies popular. Like we're not talking about that bullshit. So,
it's not Warcraft movie in China popular.
I still haven't seen that. I need to see that sometime just to say.
No, you don't.
I was listening to a show this week. I think it might have been Waypoint, where they were talking about that. And I was like, man, I need to watch that. And then as I was thinking that, talked myself out. I was like, much as I love Warcraft and lore and stuff, I kind of don't want to know what that thing is.
It's directed
the CGI
by
looked real
Bo's
good.
son. It's probably okay. People are so fucking overreactive about bullshit nowadays. I mean,
it's got Clancy Brown. I love Clancy Brown, but I still I just meant maybe I don't need to waste the time on that.
It didn't look very interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, their shoulder pads were too small. I do agree with that.
Those women were fully clothed. That's not how Warcraft works.
We're going to see a human dude get it on with an orc at some point in that movie. I mean, who doesn't want to see that?
Me. I'm good.
Oh.
They got tusks and shit, man.
Tusk underbite stuff? Okay.
We don't need that. Keep that out. That's all I'm saying.
Think about that for a second.
I mean, is she a foot taller? Well, nothing's wrong with that either. Susie's in the other room.
No, it's not the height.
She's only half a foot taller.
You know what? It's not even the green skin. It's the tusks.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the super strength, too. That'd probably be
honestly, they made that female orc look human as fuck, so... but anyway.
John?
Yeah. Man, we didn't form our plan before this, so...
no, that's okay.
No, we didn't? So, let's talk about Xbox Gold games for February.
Those are a thing.
Yes, from February 1st to the 28th on the Xbox One. You can get Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
It's a weird co-op kind of puzzly thing. I've seen some videos on it and it never grabbed me. But the art style's good. It looks like it's well made. It's your sort of pixel art's overused. The term, I mean, not the thing. It looks like maybe 16-bit kind of 2D stuff, and if you want a partner, are kind of co-piloting this ship. One of you controls the weapons, and one of you controls the movement. You have to go back and forth and run around the ship. It's kind of a real-time FTL, but not so roguelike-y. I don't know. That's not a great description, but it's... Download it. You can find out for yourself.
Yeah, I'll add it to my Xbox library, just like I do with all the games they release every month that I most of the time don't want. But that's the same is true for PlayStation right now as well, though. But Project Cars Digital Edition will be available from February 16th to March 15th. I feel like I've heard Giant Bomb or someone like that talk about Project Cars a bunch.
Really? I watched Penny Arcade do a first 15 playthrough of it, and they didn't seem terribly impressed. Nor was I with what I saw.
I mean, it's a racing game with real cars. I don't know how much.
What do you want?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it sort of seems to me
get GT3
pick whatever one you want,
4 or whatever it is, right?
I really just want the next Forza Horizon, just Forza Horizon all the time. Every day.
Yeah, get your Forza, get your Need for Speed, get your Gran Turismo, whatever. I don't know.
So then, Monkey Island 2 Special Edition from February 1st through the 15th for the 360 and Xbox One. Everyone's heard of Monkey Island by now, right?
Yeah, and it's your old point-and-click adventure games.
Mm.
Yeah, they keep remastering these things, and the art always looks super pretty. Those are just never games I want to play, so you don't have to.
I feel like
At least they remaster them. Nintendo doesn't even do that.
I feel like back in the day, you had two types of point-and-clickers, right? Or two types of point-and-clicker fans. You had the LucasArts fans, and you had the Sierra fans. And I was a Sierra fan, so I didn't play too many of the LucasArts things. And to me, Monkey Island, whether it was made by LucasArts or not, falls in that realm. But anyway. Then Star Wars The Force Unleashed.
That's cool.
Available from February 16th through the 28th on Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
Yeah, if any of you missed it, I would recommend picking it up. I really liked Force Unleashed.
When's the last time you played it, Randy?
It's been years and years. I'm talking about. I just remember really liking it. I'm sure that's the first edition, right?
It is. I had I don't know if it got backward compatibility or if it was a download or something, but Force Unleashed 2 ended up in my library one way or another.
Yeah.
And I went back and played it, and I was like, man, I really liked this game. And then I started playing it, and I was like, wow, these controls are real kind of shitty, and this
Not so
combat's
good.
not super fun. And
I felt the
Boy.
controls were shitty when it came out, honestly. So
Really?
I maybe
I
not.
don't know.
Like, I liked the game, but the controls, they were just very obtuse. Like, you had a
That could
game
be.
that didn't really need to deviate from the typical action game control kind of layout, and yet it did. So that was.
I don't know. It got my blood pumping. I thought it was good.
It had some cool scenes in it, you know. It had some cool bits. Like, I mean, a halfway decent Star Wars game is usually
And
really
it's
good.
they canonized that, right? Disney may have come through and said no, but I think before the takeover, it was canon.
Don't you kill Luke Skywalker in one of the DLCs?
I don't know
that
about
DLC's
that.
not canon. Come on.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's some cool set pieces, and you get to run around as Darth Vader in the first section.
Mhm.
Force lifting stuff is very fun, but like actual combat, not great. But it's this is definitely the one out of these four that I may actually play again here. So
Mhm.
So, Jake, how about you tell us about the PS Plus games?
these are a little rougher. We got Little Big Planet 3 on PS4. It's Little Big Planet. It's platformers with yarn dolls. I would assume there's probably still a pretty active community, or at least a lot of those custom levels are still up. The art is all very adorable, but it's kind of a known quantity.
Yeah.
And then we have Not a Hero for PS4. It's I'm kind of interested in this, sort of against my better judgment. It looks like it's like a 8 or 16-bit 2D side-scrolling shooter with some cover mechanics. I don't know what to think of it. It's available now, so I should probably go pick it up. Then we have Star Wall, which is a weird portmanteau. It's cross-buy with PS4. It is a local multiplayer narwhal jousting game. I can't believe I typed those words out.
Sounds like it could be rad.
It looks like it's super fun. I don't have people over to play games on the couch very often, so
That's true.
What about
I
share
bet
play?
they're.
You could probably share play.
I was looking and it didn't look like there was any online stuff.
Well, no, isn't that the thing about share play or whatever it is someone can join the second player as if the game treats it like the other player's there locally, but they're not, kind of thing.
Yeah, I forgot they just included that in like a patch update. Yeah, maybe. Let's try that out.
It might not
Let's
be
get on it,
called
Randy.
share play. I have no idea.
And then we got Anna, the extended edition. I wrote down that it's PS3 only. It may be cross-buy, may not. It's like a first-person horror adventure, quote-unquote, walking simulator. Okay. Then we got Ninja Senkai DX, which is Vita/PS4. That's an 8-bit platformer. It looks pretty fast-paced. You're a ninja that throws shurikens. Go look it up. Looks neat. And then lastly, we have it's either pronounced Torque-L or Torkel. I'd like saying Torkel better, so I'm going to go with that.
Torque-L.
It's a 2D puzzle game.
I've seen this one. This is another one I watched on First 15. It looks pretty fun. They had a good time.
It's got a very unique art style, and I say that as
minimalist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of reminds me of like Echo Chrome from the minimalist perspective, but then also was it John Was Alone or something? What was that game where you had the different shapes and there was the narrator, the puzzle game?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I think it is something like John Was Alone or John Was Here or something, where all the shapes, like I never played it, but like all the shapes had different names or something. And,
right, and like personalities and stuff through the narration, and it's kind of that sort of art style, but it looks like you're doing cool stuff with stretching out blocks and whatnot. So
yeah, it's like it's a puzzle platformer, basically.
Yeah, Joey liked that game a lot.
It looked fun. If it's free, I'll pick it up for sure. It says cross-buy though.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You can pick it up.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Okay, so releases, games through February 17th. Today, Fire Emblem Heroes released for iOS and Android. This is I think they called it a gotcha game or something like that. Like it has Fire Emblem gameplay where it's the JRPG tactics map that you're moving around. I don't know why I call it a JRPG tactics map. That actually originated in the West, but whatever. Fuck it. Anyway, but I guess you get your characters through like random packs kind of thing. So, came out today.
That's the model these days.
Yeah. February 7th, Neo for PS4 comes out. This is from the makers of Ninja Gaiden.
Team Ninja, the Dead or Alive guys.
Yeah. So they decided.
Did either of you guys play the demo for that?
No. Did you?
I did. Probably 4 or 5 months ago at this point. It's the shorthand is it's a samurai Dark Souls game. And it plays a little bit more like Bloodborne than it does Dark Souls, in that you're more agile. It was fun. I don't know that I'm going to run out and drop $60 on it, but it was fun. It's there's demons and shit you got to fight, and the actual combat is pretty interesting. It's a little tough to wrap your head around, but what Souls game isn't? But I'm digging it.
I was reading the reviews because I read the Polygon's little non-review write-up, and I read Jim Sterling's review, and it sounded hard as fuck. Like, it sounded hard to the extent that I probably won't mess with it.
Even as a Souls guy, I had a lot of trouble with the demo.
Like, I could only get... I don't know how far I got in that original Ninja Gaiden, but... I say original. I
was going to say, what were you, like 2?
Yeah, no. I could get to the boss in the original Ninja Gaiden, and Ninja Gaiden 2 I could fucking beat. No, on the nice 3D action one that they released on Xbox originally, like, I never could get... I don't know, I swear I put like 8 hours into that thing, but I doubt I was even halfway through. I just got stuck in this one part.
That was a real good game, and I think it holds up pretty well. The graphics are a little rough, though. As pretty as that game looked on the original Xbox, there's only so much you can do to it. But yeah, those guys put out good games.
Well, and I wound up getting the PS3 version, so it had the boob controller physics, like kind of a weird thing to do. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
They are the Dead or Alive team, so they're very bosomy.
So Randy doesn't. So I know Ninja Gaiden 2 had it. I don't know if the first one did, but you know how the original PS3 controller, it had like a movement sensor in it.
Yeah.
The boobs would move with the movement sensor.
Okay, I'm into that.
It's kind of like I'm. Yeah, it's kind of no matter how big a perv you are, it's still kind of creepy.
Well, and I'm sure it was not natural movement in any way.
No, you have a lady just standing there and her boobs are like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that you need an adjective to go with that. That is straight up creepy.
Yeah.
And if I know Japan, I'm sure they came out with like controller mods that, you know, looked or felt like what those guys think boobs feel like, because clearly they don't know how they move. I'm sure there's just tons of awful stuff out there.
Furiously researching on Wiki.
And I'm pretty sure the first game had something similar to that in it. I don't know what it is offhand.
I was unaware of all of that.
It really doesn't matter. We Are Chicago releases on February 9th for PC.
What's that about?
Jake, I assume since you live in Chicago, this has something to do with you?
He knows everything about it, right, Jim?
No, it doesn't have anything to do with me.
Oh.
It's about... I saw a demo of it when I was at PAX, and from what Patrick Kleppitt's saying, it hasn't really come much farther than it was then, and it wasn't great then. But it's ambitious. It's sort of a Telltale's not the way to put it, but it's definitely a sort of narrative story focused thing from what I saw. And it's about a black family, you know, trying to make it on the south side of Chicago. I think near south side, maybe near west. Regardless, you know, we're not talking, you know, your $1 million condo area. And you know what? They're trying to tell you know, an interesting story and hopefully get some truth there. And I hope they succeeded, but it sounded like it's a little rough. So we'll see.
Okay, on February 14th, For Honor releases for everything. I'm kind of curious about this. I can't afford it. I don't have time for it, but I am very curious about it. Are either of you guys going to pick this one up?
I don't think so, unless it's this one I'm thinking about that I'm...
It's the fucking weird one with like Vikings and then samurai who are fighting knights.
No.
Like that's what I want to know about this game is how they mash those three things together. I watched... Go ahead.
They had that story trailer last E3 where they're like, people were fighting over water, and then it just showed two raggedy guys fighting, and then suddenly it was giant legions fighting over it. So I'm skeptical there's going to be a lot of effort put in the story, but
yeah, that doesn't help. They had a multiplayer beta over the weekend that I saw a bunch of people playing. I ended up not picking it up. I don't know. It looks like it's cool, kind of tactical third-person combat where you have to kind of control how you slash or stab or whatever. I'm interested to see how it plays and what people think of it. That's not a day one buy for me, but if people are absolutely crazy over it, or it's, you know, those mechanics really pan out, yeah, I'd pick it up on sale or at Redbox or something.
yeah. But my fucking starting mid-March through the end of April, I have only time for the video games I have pre-ordered right now. So
yeah, wasn't Persona supposed to come out on Valentine's Day?
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you of that, just twist that a little.
Well, but, you know, I got Berserk to play instead, a game who likes to horrify you, or I say game, a comic series who uses rape to some very horrifying conclusions. But,
That sounds fun.
is that a big seller? No, it's not. It's
People into that these days?
it's just a really dark, fucked up, manga series, so I'm hoping the game gets that part right, and I hope they bring the same dude who did the music for the original series into it, because he was real good, even if he didn't necessarily know how to EQ stuff right. But
Well, you're giving it a glowing review to start with here. So.
it's about a dude with a giant sword killing shit and demons. So it's like Neo, but it's probably going to be really easy to play because it's like a Dynasty Warriors thing.
You're still not selling me on this. Okay, so it's Dynasty Warriors with rape, and the music's EQ'd real bad. Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Well, it's really the 90s series that had the bad EQ. Well, that had the good, bad EQ music, but whatever. Also on the... Where are we at?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Did we not? I just talked about...
You
just
did
delete
For
Berserk
Honor.
off the list? I
We
feel
did
like
For
that was-
Honor, and then you
Sniper
went into
Elite is
Berserk.
next.
Yeah, I just... Oh, well. Sniper Elite 4 also releases on the 14th.
They made 4 of those?
People
They have now.
Okay.
I mean, Scott talked about how much fun he had in one mission, spending 8 hours trying to line up a shot.
Yeah, I mean, in what other game can you snipe somebody through both their testicles and get the X-ray shot of it. Like,
Oh, they have X-ray shots? Okay.
well, they have since 3. I would assume they're coming back. But yeah, I mean, they modeled somebody's balls that you can just blow up. So
Some poor temp thinks he's got his dream job lined up.
Gotcha. I don't,
we need to spend the next 2 weeks working on balls.
Scrotum
Honestly,
physics.
a lot of people like those games. A lot of the
Scrotality.
the no quarters guys like those games a lot. I think,
All right.
or at least 2 of them do.
And
Mad.
they're really, I mean, they're effectively modeled as far as the physics and stuff go. There's a bullet drop, and you have to account for wind, and like, you have to kind of know what you're doing. It's not just it's not Doom. You have to plan stuff out and be methodical, and that
Everything's a
works for folks.
railgun.
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know. It's probably cool. I will probably never know. Then
Halo.
someone wrote Halo Wars 2 on the 17th. This isn't. Why are you making shit up? They
Is that
wouldn't have
not?
made a sequel to this game, would they?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
like it?
I've been seeing ads on Twitch all over for it,
I
and
was
like,
actually gonna say I liked Halo Wars.
I don't know.
And,
I
there's
guess
a
it's
good
sold.
30 or 40 of you, I think, that really enjoyed Halo Wars. So.
I don't know where it's taking place in the timeline. I know Halo Wars, the first one, was like maybe kind of after Reach or somewhere around there before Halo 1.
I think it was between Reach and Halo 1, yeah.
Okay. So I don't know where this is taking place, but I don't know. That's coming out if people are into that. Not my thing.
Honestly,
I mean, I'm probably
played
not going to get it, but
I played the demo for the original one. I'm like, this isn't bad. But I already felt like I ran out of Halo units, like, throughout the demo, like, in terms of, like, for me, the RTSs are about what new cool unit can I get. And I felt like they already used all that up in that demo. I played on the original one. So
They burned through that
I
shit
don't-
real quick.
I don't remember enough about it. I just remember that it was an RTS that had a controller layout that you could use
Yeah.
on
Which was not-
because most RTSs suck on consoles because they're made for keyboard and mouse. But this one I thought was pretty good. You could tell that they made it with that in mind.
They did. I'm still not sure it's good, but it's been a while since that came out, so maybe they've...
Yeah,
I don't know.
like
It's been a while
09
since
or
it...
something.
Right, maybe I'm just remembering it worse than it was. I don't remember it being real good. But hey, new one.
I'm sure it's fine, I just don't think, I'm skeptical the Halo audience is expanding. But anyway, let's move on to movies. So tomorrow, Rings comes out.
Ring Zoo.
Ring Zoo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ring is you.
So I guess the Ring video goes viral, which makes me kind of curious about it. Like the original,
Because it was a VHS tape.
like I don't know how much you guys know about the Ring stuff. So I'm sure you know
Wait,
it's a
wait.
Japanese horror movie,
Yeah.
but it was actually based on some Japanese novels, and the novels were actually kind of a medical thriller where, like, Sadako wouldn't necessarily come out of a TV. She would come out of... People would basically hallucinate and see her coming out of a reflective surface when they had the virus.
Okay, see, that actually answers one of my questions then, because if this thing goes viral, like, and you're watching YouTube on your phone, like, does this little tiny person crawl out of your phone? Like, and that's not scary.
Well,
It goes literally viral. It's an infection.
but
Because she's so small.
those are the books. The books go, like, incredibly insane places. If you were curious, I just recommend going reading a synopsis of the books. Because there's only, 15 years ago there was only 3 of them. Maybe there's more now. But they go places that you wouldn't expect. But the movies, obviously, are going to completely ignore the books. So there's, like, the only thing I think they're going to take from it is I'm pretty sure they have a moment in the books where they broadcast out the video on live TV. And I'm pretty sure they actually made... Because, like, when Ringu came out, I think they had another movie that I don't remember the name of, where they did the alternate storyline, but that movie was really bad. So, but I don't... I'm curious about the concept, about them bringing back this property after... What's it been? 17 years?
Something like that.
What? It can't be that long.
I mean...
I mean, Naomi Watts was in
The
one
first
in, like,
Ring.
2003.
I think the first ring was like 2002, maybe.
Oh,
At least
my
a
God.
decade.
Yes, because back when I was in,
2002.
like, Yeah, first year or two of college, I had a buddy of mine just he handed me this unmarked videotape and just said, "You got to watch this shit. This shit is crazy." And it was Ringu. It was the original Ring before anyone knew what it was. And we're sitting there, me and my other buddy are sitting there watching this thing. I'm like, this is real fucked up. Like, did this guy just kill us? Is that how this ends?
I thought maybe it was the actual, like, the video within the video, but it was the movie.
Yeah, I don't know if the guy who gave me the tape, like, had watched it and thought it was funny to try and fuck with me, or because he would do goofy shit all the time and not realize it. Like, when somebody brought up Lord of the Rings, he said that rigor mortis was dreamy when he meant Viggo Mortensen. So, like, I don't know if he knew that he was fucking with us, but it really fucked with me. But yeah, that's right.
All right.
It was around then. You're right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really like the Japanese Ring movies, even with their little weird, goofy off tangents. I mean, because those corpses were pretty goofy looking. But anyway. And then the most important movie of the year comes out February 10th, John Wick Chapter 2.
I'm going to see that.
Yeah.
Big John Wick fan, right?
Yeah. I need to see if they have a playing on Thursday. Because they've been doing, like, preview shows on, like, Thursday at, like, 7 or 8 p.m. And
well, the new one's got, I saw a couple commercials for it, and really, all you need to know is that it's John Wick Chapter 2.
It's more of what you want.
Yeah, Neo is murdering more motherfuckers. I saw Lawrence Fishburne's in this one. I think I saw a couple other familiar faces. So that's a no-brainer for me. I saw the first one with my dad on Father's Day. I think I brought that up before, and that was on my TV, which is fine. But like, now that I know what that series is, like, I need to go see that in a theater with booming sound, and yeah, that's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw it twice in the theater. I could be wrong, but I love that movie. I need to rewatch the first one again. It's been a couple months.
you want to make sure you remember the plot.
It's been
I know.
Yeah. It's been a week or two.
Don't
Need to
want
watch
to miss
it
any
again.
of those beats. You know, if that guy with the crazy beard shows up again after being killed, I'm gonna be pissed. No.
Spoilers.
They just have that one bodyguard in the first one that has like this giant fuck-all beard with like this crazy mustache. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems right up your alley, dude.
I was gonna say, yeah. Is that where you got the idea?
No, he has like one of those manicure fucking.
No, I know, going out past his face, kind of thing.
But I don't know, just
Right.
random dude in it. So TV, we got The Walking Dead starting up 2/12.
I've made my thoughts about that clear, I think, on several podcasts.
Are you guys still gonna be watching that on Sundays?
We didn't even keep watching it for the first half of this season. It just kind of fell by the wayside. Like,
It sounds like there's some real goofy shit going on.
I don't know, man. They started losing me, and then they just finally lost me. I watched the premiere to find out who got batted, and then I don't know. I just don't care. I've got them all in the diver. I could load them up, watch them. I haven't done it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still a year behind because Netflix is where I watch them, and I will probably keep watching. If I don't sit down and go, I got to focus on this like it's Black Mirror or something, but I'll turn them on while I'm doing whatever, and I will continue to do that until they quit making them, because partly, even if they go crazy off the rails, maybe it turns into Z Nation. Okay, I liked Z Nation. I can live with that. Which actually, I think Z Nation got renewed as well. But
You guys have
I don't
fun
know.
with that. There is only one zombie show I'm interested in continuing to watch, and it is nothing we've talked about so far. So,
All right, well, let's not start now.
yeah. Let's see. Moving on to streaming on February 7th. This is Jake's entry. Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day Special.
Did you
Yes.
dream this, or is this real?
no, that's a real thing. It seems like it's going to be. Did you guys ever hear the Lonely Island song that he was on?
Yeah.
Where he
this
just kept
was-
turning
he's a
it back to-
cinephile.
Well, you're right. He just kept turning everything back to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Jack Sparrow, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
It's-
that. It's kind of be in the same vein, kind of tongue-in-cheek, sort of self-deprecating.
Right. Like it doesn't always work when a celebrity's in on the joke. but it's working for me with Michael Bolton. Like,
Yeah.
he plays everything so straight that it makes me
Yeah.
laugh.
I always appreciate when somebody's willing to let it go a little bit and not take themselves too seriously, you know? I always appreciate that a lot.
So
I mean, they got this guy to sing that quote from Scarface on a major album. Like, they got Michael Bolton to say, "This town's just a pussy waiting to be fucked," and sing it with his Michael Bolton veins popping out of his forehead and neck voice. Like,
The guy's got one volume.
They got him dressed up as a woman in the video. I mean,
oh, it's a classic.
Aaron Bronkovich. But yeah, Andy Samberg's going to be in it. Sarah Silverman's going to be in it. Fred Armisen, you know, the guy from Portlandia, is going to be in it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's weird.
Chris Parnell.
Okay.
I think Chris Parnell, he was on the Narnia rap, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. This is like a reunion.
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
I don't know who these other people are. Eric Andre, that name sounds familiar.
For a second, I was thinking of Martin Sheen, and I was like, okay.
I was thinking that too, and then I said it out loud, I'm like, oh no, that's not Martin
That's
Sheen.
a different guy.
Who the fuck's Michael Sheen?
I don't know,
I
man.
mean, the Sheen name's overused. Like
You'll have to watch it and find out.
I mean, Charlie and Martin claimed that when they changed their name from whatever it was originally.
They put their flag in that name?
Or was it Estevez or whatever his name
Emilio kept it, yeah.
Was he the one who changed his name, maybe?
No, he's Emilio Estevez.
He's Charlie
Mr.
Sheen's
Mighty
brother.
Ducks, man. They're like half brothers, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
That's enough of that.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into the lineage of the Sheen clan.
Let's bury this conversation.
Let's do it.
Dance on it.
Yeah, there's Crypt of the Necrodancer DLC that's in early access right now. It seems like it's going to be pretty extensive, but I don't really go for early access stuff, so like I'll play it when it's done. It seems like they're doing a lot of stuff. New weapons, new bosses.
I don't know if it's good or not, but they're doing a lot of stuff.
What? No, I mean, it seems like they're adding a lot
in your game. More stuff.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah,
when it said that the trailer said there was like 20 new tracks, which that can't. There's only like 16 levels in the game, and there's a different song for each level. So like, I don't think they're adding 5 more floors, but maybe those are all remixes or something. Because they got a bunch of people to do remixes of those Danny Baranowski songs. But honestly, if he's involved in any of these things, I'm gonna buy the soundtrack because that guy's the best video game music creator in the business for my money these days. So we'll see when it comes out.
Okay.
It's a good game.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I think I saw first 15 of that too.
Crowdfunding season has hit, evidently.
Hooray!
I don't know why these assholes like.
Yeah.
A couple of them, they really should have coordinated this better. So, Pillars of Eternity 2 hit Fig. Fig is that service that basically all the original major video game Kickstarter guys, where you have like Brian Fargo from InXile and what's his fuck from Double Fine, and like a couple of those guys basically start a website where you could also be a what do they call it? Investor, so you could potentially get profit back on something, but you have to buy an investing block, which is like $1,000 or $2,000. The Pillars of Eternity 2 Kickstarter is already 100% funded. I think they wanted like $1 million or maybe a little bit more dollars, so they got that. The next one is the Apocalypse Now. Now, before I talk about what Apocalypse Now is, let me just say there's a guy who's working on both Pillars of Eternity 2 and Apocalypse Now. Why did he not have the fucking foresight to run his other Kickstarter a different month than... It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Should have called you.
Yeah, evidently. He should have known. Granted, he's not... Obsidian's the one doing Pillars of Eternity 2, but Obsidian is not doing Apocalypse Now. So, the Apocalypse Now Kickstarter is... it's backed by the director, whose name escapes me right now because I've been drinking.
Was it Coppola?
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola. Evidently, it was kind of his starter idea, and he's been talking to some guys, and they kind of developed this whole AI Matrix deal where their intent with the game, and I gotta find just this one line from it, hopefully quickly.
Do we need this game? Like, we had Spec Ops: The Line, which was basically this. Like, what is this game contributing? I don't get it.
Okay, so let me just read you a couple lines from their description. Okay, we're making a first-person perspective survival and horror game with strong role-playing elements. Where is my favorite fucking line? Did they remove it? They have a line somewhere in here. Is imagine playing Fallout New Vegas on acid in Vietnam, and that's what they're going for. So like that
what?
is yeah.
Okay, then make a different game. It doesn't need to be licensed. Like, if you want to make that game, that sounds, I don't know, I'd say rad. It sounds certainly unique, a little fucked up, but I'd check it out.
Well,
you don't need to attach this name to it for a 30-year-old movie?
Well, what they're going for is they want to go for the same kind of human art experience thing with it, where they want NPCs to judge you by your actions and what you do, and they want your NPCs to have kind of like, let's say you murder someone in cold blood in front of them, like it might hit them later or something like that. Like they want like these really, really complex guys. Like my big doubt is that they will be able to do this for the money they're asking, because they only want like 900,000, I think.
Yeah, that's not enough money.
And it's not going to happen. I mean, they only have. This launched, a week ago. They want 900,000. They've gotten 156,000. Like, if you've studied Kickstarters, they get basically half their money, if not all their money, when they launch during the first week, and then they get the other most amount of money the last week. It is very rare that they keep kind of the pressure going and keep the money flowing. Like, the most... I think probably Enzile is probably the one company that's really been successful about keeping people constantly donating to their shit. Them, and then, of course, the random flukes like, Exploding Kittens or some bullshit. But, I don't know. I went ahead, like, to me, this was worth it to back on, like, the lowest level, Give me the game. I am totally for, like, dropping acid in Vietnam and making some bad choices, so...
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this trend of taking 30 and 35-year-old movies and turning them all into games. Like, Friday the 13th, at least I get how you could turn that into a game. It doesn't look very fun. It doesn't look like a game I want to play, but I get the connection here.
That time frame is just kind of popular right now. Period pieces are being set during it. All the new properties, well, not new properties, but all the properties that are getting rebooted are from that time period for the most part.
The thing,
I don't know, 80s nostalgia.
The thing that sells me on Apocalypse Now is it just sounds experimental as fuck. Like, because it's a game where you're in the military that's not really about shooting. Like, that's highly appealing to me. I think it's probably going to wind up more along the scope of something like, what the hell is Idle Thumb's game? I just forgot. Firewatch. I'm willing to bet it's going to wind up being like that size of game, realistically.
It's going to be Firefight Watch, because all the people are watching you shoot children.
Yeah, just occasionally you'll do acid or...
Hang out in a boat going down a river.
Is the Me
I love you on Wall Street.
Are those people in that movie, or are they in the other one?
No, that's Full Metal Jacket.
See, I've never seen either movie all the way through, so I don't know.
Well, Full Metal Jacket you wouldn't know, because it's basically two completely different movies.
It is.
I've seen the training, like My Life is Full of Shit, whatever part. Apocalypse Now, I don't think I've ever seen more than like 5 minutes of. So.
I was watching this documentary on The Shining. On Netflix, like Room 239 or something like that. It was the room in The Shining where the bed shit happens. And, like, it was pretty good. And, like, an hour and 15 minutes into it, they started going off the fucking rails about how, Kubrick learned this stuff when he did the shoots to fake the moon landing. And I was like,
oh,
what?
God.
What? And I got, like, 5 minutes into that piece, like, they're not kidding. They're treating this like it's fact. Are you out of your fucking mind? Anyway.
Yeah.
People believe that shit, man.
They do.
Yeah, we should watch Full Metal Jacket, though. It's good.
Full Metal Jacket is good.
They should talk to Lord British. He's been to space. So,
One of my
Um,
favorite.
So then the last Kickstarter that's going on right now that I know about is Banner Saga 3. I really enjoyed the first one and never got back to it, and therefore never picked up the second one. But this is just continuing the story, and my understanding is it's going to be the conclusion. So you're probably going to do a lot of gameplay only to have the world end anyway. So just prepare yourself.
Didn't they make a lot? Didn't they sell a lot of the previous two Banner Sagas?
The first one did really well. I don't know how the second one did. I know they made a lot of good improvements on the second one. I just got to beat the first one first.
Yeah, this feels like a weird
But
thing to go back to the Kickstarter well on.
yeah, well, and they didn't kickstart the second one. And this one, they actually said, look, I'm pretty sure they already said, look, we were already making this and stuff, but we're just.
But we want to make it with your money because it's a lot less risky. We learned that last time, so this time you pay for it. Yeah, I'm not. It's the same beef I always have with crowdfunding stuff that it feels wonky to me.
I think you're seeing conspiracy where there's not one. I really doubt it. I think they just want to finish their game and they don't have enough money to. So, but either way, it's already funded. All they wanted was $200,000. They already got $228,000. So, I mean those.
I hope it
games-
comes out and it's good.
Those games are gorgeous. I mean, so I think that's fairly safe. So, okay, big breath. The Oculus trial has concluded. ZeniMax has been, if you aren't familiar with this, ZeniMax, who owns Bethesda, took Oculus to court, basically claiming that they stole code and research to make the Oculus Rift from them, and that John Carmack specifically did, and that they broke whatever NDA they had between the companies. So they were wanting $2 to $3 billion. They were awarded $500 million.
That's still a lot.
It is. So, and it is, reading about the results of it makes it sound not resolved whatsoever. Like, Oculus has already said they're going to appeal it.
Of course they are. It's $500 million.
Yeah. I mean, this thing probably isn't going to be solved for a decade, you know. Whereas ZeniMax is like, no, we're going to fucking seek an injunction against the Oculus Rift. Like, it's crazy. Like, the results evidently were just kind of penalizing Oculus for primarily breaking an NDA of some sort. But here, I'll read the specifics I wrote down. So, 200 million of it was for breaking NDA, 50 mil for copyright infringement, 50 mil for Oculus false designation, 50 mil for Palmer Luckey false designation, $150 for Iribe.
eBay.
Yeah, for that being false designation. I had to Google false designation, and Wikipedia says in consumer law, false designation of origin occurs when the manufacturer or seller lies about the country of origin or maker of its products. For example, if a manufacturer makes a product and then claims that it is high-end and then claims it is a high-end name brand product. So,
It's like you couldn't make iPhones in China for. Oh wait, shit. Never mind. That seems like a weird. And there's probably a very specific legal way that fits here. That seems like a weird application of that concept. But okay, whatever. I mean, they're going to appeal it, so I guess they'll figure all that shit out.
Yeah, well, and hearing trials on people judging code is kind of crazy to me, because you would think you would want everyone in the fucking jury to be coders, right? I mean, people who would have a fucking clue as to what they are seeing and what is being described to them. And I'm skeptical that's the case, you know. But,
I'm not sure you need to be a coder to understand the law behind it.
Well, like, the copyright stuff is claiming that John Carmack stole code, right? So when they present, like, they brought in a code expert, and Carmack...
And they're going to show lines and lines and lines of code, right?
Carmack did a big, like, thing about it, how the code expert, and this is evidently is not allowed to become public knowledge. Like, this is part of the court that's just behind closed doors. But
right.
They basically had a big screen with code, and he basically said, look, I made this program. They looked for similarities between the Oculus code, and this previous code for the Doom VR edition we were working on, the Doom 3, and it found these 6 places where they were alike, and basically said, without a doubt, that means that they completely copied this and lifted that from it. And then the defense lawyer came out and broke it down and pointed out, oh no, this has this many cycles in it. This has, this is divided into 2 functions here. This is not, they were fairly different, but they decided that didn't matter. So I think there's a lot of concern there, especially since from talking to coders around town, like using code on the internet is like a big deal. Like that's how you get by, it sounds like a lot, but
yeah. Oh yeah, that's, I mean, things being open source helps us all.
I have something of an anecdote. I lived on the computer science floor at OSU. I wasn't a computer science major, but a bunch of my friends were, and they collaborated all the time. That was the whole point of the floor. They would collaborate on projects, and they would do this and that. And one time, 2 of my friends were told that they were, well, it was a few of them, but they were told that they were going to fail the class because the professor was accusing them of cheating because some parameter in the program they had to write said use prime numbers. And they all were collaborating in a group, and they all decided to start at 1 as opposed to 2, I guess, which is what everyone else did. And so he accused all of them of cheating because they started with this set of prime numbers at 1. But it's like they were where do you draw that line? Because it's so collaborative and everything just builds off of each other.
Right, that's how software evolves and gets made. Like,
also, 1's a prime number. But
yeah, I don't. It sounds complicated to me. Like, I don't like Palmer Luckey. I don't necessarily care about Oculus, but I don't know if there's any way that ZeniMax doesn't come off as the big bad dicks in this. Like, just.
I'm actually most surprised to find out that civil suits have juries. Like, I guess I didn't think that was a thing. I don't know.
Maybe they don't have juries. I don't know.
No, they totally do.
Do they?
They totally do. I just looked it up. I was like, that can't be right. And sure as shit, in most cases, you can have a jury for like a breach of contract or whatever.
I wrote it right here. I wouldn't have made that shit up. So, like, they talked to Oculus afterwards, and per Oculus, the jury found Oculus did not steal trade secrets. Per ZeniMax, jury found Oculus guilty of using computer code for headsets that infringed on ZeniMax's copyrights, which is really what we just talked about. So,
yeah,
just lots of crazy, fucked up shit. Like, I don't know what that does to Oculus. I don't know if that's. I mean, if they litigate, can ZeniMax still get an injunction of them? Does this mean that Oculus headsets cannot sell until this court case is resolved?
Well, that'd be up to the judge.
Yeah.
If they can just make it like, you can't make any, where you can make them, I suppose, but you can't sell any of this shit until we figure out who owns it. Because then maybe, they're retroactively going to have to pay ZeniMax a portion of every headset they sold, or you don't know.
Yeah.
And that seems like a crazy, I guess they're projecting future earnings potential, but even then, billions of dollars, I don't know.
Well,
yeah, and that's the thing.
Billions of dollars, so.
Well, I know they weren't awarded, but that's what they saw it. But I guess you always highball it, and then you're going to get low down. But still, even $500 million is a lot.
I mean, lawyers are scum of the earth, and most of our politicians for a reason. So, so moving on, the Jake and John are full of shit corner. First item on here is about me mostly being right over Jake. So the Joy-Con controllers for the Nintendo Switch. Joy-Cons charge when attached to the Switch.
Okay.
But this is a part that we were both slightly wrong about next. The first part was the part Jake was wrong about, because I said they charged when they were attached to the Switch, and Jake said they weren't, so I was right.
Yeah, you can have that. Okay. No. Let the record show.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It was, but so evidently they have a grip that comes with it that attaches to the controllers when you separate them. The ones that come with them do not have a charge port, but you can pay $29.99 and buy one off the shelf that does have a charge port for them.
Okay,
So,
that must have been where I was getting confused. And, I think our takeaway at the end of all the Switch discussion was, this is all super convoluted and fucked up, and what is going on with this system and all the messaging and these 40 different accessories and all that. So, like, feel like the takeaway is the same, but okay, if I fucked it up, I fucked it up.
yeah, they need to switch up their accessory line. So, okay, so next one. The I Am Full of Shit. So, last time we talked about Strange Days. So, the VR addiction in that movie is not snuff. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie, guys. But the VR in the movie also gives the user the sensations of what the real-life video is. But the plot revolves around a snuff movie appearing in that space. So.
Okay, that sounds good.
Anyway.
That movie is on my list of stuff where if I get a way to watch it, I will watch it now. So
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so we're full of shit.
we're
You know
full
what
of
else
shit.
is full of shit? Almost all the water and environs that you go through in Resident Evil 7. I think you go through a lot of literal shitty water. It's I don't have a ton to say about it. I did burn through it pretty quick. I got it on like a Friday afternoon or something, and by Saturday night I was done with it. And not like, fuck this game, I'm done. Like, finished it, went through and started another thing to see how New Game Plus played. Like, it
Nice.
goes quick. It's not as scary as I thought it was going to be. There are some jump scares, but the demo was a lot scarier than the game actually ended up being. And it's sort of, there's this weird, it kind of changes tones in like the back third, which is real abrupt. Like, you're not in the house anymore, which was all the scariest stuff. But like walking around that property, because there's multiple buildings on this property, they're mostly pretty well done. And like, it really feels like kind of a real place, for as goofy as like, moving weird puzzle pieces around in a silhouette to unlock secret hidden walls and stuff doesn't work. But like, it does feel like a fully realized environment. The boss fights are bad. That's not surprising. But the sound is great. The Foley work in particular, like on those doors, they creep you out. Like you really, the sound design is so good on those things where it just, there's like 5 different types of creaks for the door to make, depending on how hard you went into it or how quick you're opening it. That stuff is all real good. The models look incredible. Like, this is not, the actual areas you go through are not PT levels of detailed, but those models look really incredible. At least till they start moving their mouths, and then everything looks Polar Express again. But man, they clearly put some time in. And it's weird that the mouths don't look right, because when I finished it and saw the credits, there was Japanese translators, so I guess Capcom designed this game in English, which is weird. I died a lot. Some of the monsters are... There's really only sort of kind of 2 types of monsters if you don't count the bosses. They will fuck you up real good. And I think if I was playing in VR, the aiming would have been a lot better. Do you remember last episode we were talking about how by Resident Evil 5, like, it was not, the game mechanics were not part of it being scary anymore?
Yeah.
The game mechanics are back to part of it being scary.
Oh, man.
Because it just, I'm not bad at video games. I'm okay at them. And the aiming was just kind of for shit. Which is fine, because towards the end of the game, you just have enough shotgun shells saved up that everything goes down in one hit. So, but it was good. It was good. I liked it. There was some sort of fun twists in the plot that I didn't expect. There are 2 endings, which is weird, because when they give you the option, there's a thing where you can choose option A or option B, and it's very clear what the right choice is. Like, almost Far Cry 3 levels of it's clear what the right choice is. Then I picked the right one, and I went back and watched the quote bad ending on YouTube, and I guess if you make the other choice, like it just becomes not a thing in like 15 seconds. Like right away, and it has zero effect on the plot going forward. At least that's how it looked. I don't know. But it was fun. It was fun. I'm glad I played it. I don't know that I'm on board with Capcom doing this real expensive DLC a week after it comes out. But that's Capcom. They're super fucked up, and I hate them. But they put out a good game here. So I dug it. There wasn't as much magic hand-waving shit as they were doing for a while there, so it seemed a lot more grounded. I dug it.
I mean, Wesker didn't show up looking like Neo and beat the shit out of anyone?
No.
Okay. Wonder why they called it Resident Evil then.
I know. It's a very abrupt 180-degree turn.
Okay, so I finished watching season 1 of The Magicians.
Where did you watch this? Is this online somewhere?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It is so you got to stick with me after I say this, okay? It is a sci-fi original series.
They're not all bad. They're getting better.
Evidently now they are. Like, that was a death sentence, like, for everything.
It was a joke for a long time, yeah.
I had a syphilis for a while where it was just anything that came out from sci-fi, gone. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
That's good.
But, this series is, it's based on a book series, and watching the TV show and kind of reading some of the reviews on it, like, I think I'm going to go check out the book series, because that sounds like it's going to be even better. Like, The Magicians is kind of a mix between adult Harry Potter and Chronicles of Narnia. A lot of reviewers refer to it as not Narnia, just because they have, I don't know, they have certain elements where, like, you get to the school kind of like you would a Narnia, and then they have a Narnia-like land in it. But basic idea in the show is you have some college kids who are looking to go to graduate school and get inducted into this actual real magic school. And it is, for a show, like, you could probably argue about 45 minutes of most of the episodes is fairly somewhere between kind of lighthearted, and then the other 15 minutes dispersed throughout are really fucking dark, where they're going to kill characters you weren't expecting them to immediately kill.
Well, it's sci-fi. They don't know if they're going to get another season. So, like, they're never shy about killing dudes.
Well, and they kind of ended this one on a cliffhanger. Like, I won't spoil it, but I don't know. Maybe at the same time, they might have known they were renewed by the time they got there. The main character is basically suffers from, like, real bad, like, anxiety and depression kind of thing. The problem with the show is the characters are as annoying as they are likable, and they're not like annoying like a CW show where they're all just fucking morons. They're annoying. They're kind of unlikable, like all of them to small degrees. Like, you start to like them, and then they'll do that thing that makes you not like them again, like to remind you, oh no, you don't like anyone in this show. And like the main character doesn't really feel like he should probably be the main character. It should probably be one of the women, but they do things that make you don't like them too, even though they are obviously more skilled in magic than him. But for the most part,
it's the Hermione effect.
Yeah.
Is in this universe, is magic, like you said, there's a magic school, but you didn't quite phrase how it was. Like, is magic just a fact of life now that people know about, or is it still the secret society stuff?
Secret society stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they have the official school. You take a test to get in, and they can boot you out. And basically, if they boot you out, they erase your memory, and then you have, like, well, okay, I'll spoil, like, the first half hour of the first episode, like, because you start out with the two main characters. You have Julie, and you have Quentin. Quentin is your main character, who will be questioning why he is the main character for the entire series. But basically, they all they mysteriously are summoned to take this test. They take this test. Julie doesn't get in. Quentin gets in. Julie basically, like, cuts her arm to make sure that she remembers when they erase her memory, and then goes crazy trying to find magic again when she's in the real world. And then Quentin's kind of a dick to her then when she's in the real world, and he got in, and but it's like they kill and mutilate and they do some fucked up shit in this show. I think it's worth your time. It's not like I think it's a strong like 3.5, 4-star show. Like I rate things kind of low, so like I'd give most of the CWDC shows like a 2-star or 2.5 if that tells you anything. So, and I
assume this is out of 5.
Yeah, out of 5.
Okay, it's like a 3.5 and a 4. I don't know, 20.
Yeah, out of 10, it's got room to grow, but it's still really good. I mean,
I'm John
40%.
MusiM, and I don't like anything.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I like the Magician.
Shut up, guys.
I enjoyed the Magicians. It's only like 13 episodes long. I think you will know within like the first 2 or 3 episodes whether you want to watch it. But for the most part, as much unlikable attributes as the characters have, I think I'm more forgiving about it because it is almost like their unlikableness is almost realistic instead of forced most of the time, if that makes any sense.
They're not like kicking puppies over walls or anything.
Exactly. But anywho, so.
Oh shit! I bet that's what happens in John Wick 2. That's probably how that gets kicked off. A magician like kicks a puppy off a cliff. Anyway, speaking of sci-fi stuff, I have been playing Stellaris, and I don't really know why. Like, I don't know why I'm going back to that game. Aside from Resident Evil, this is all sort of just turn off my brain comfort food gaming that I've been doing. It's been Binding of Isaac and then Stellaris. And I haven't even come close to winning a game yet, and I don't even know really how I would approach it. There's like 3 win conditions. One is, to just blow everybody up. Another is to have a federation that controls, 70% of the planets or something like that. And the diplomacy is kind of weird, and I don't know how to start federations, and you don't always really have enough of the resource to put into that, which I think is culture, society, something like that. It's the purple one. So, like, you have to spend that on getting new leaders and stuff, so it seems like you never have enough to get these federations set up. So I can't really go down that route. And the combat, as fun as that combat is and upgrading your ships and stuff is, it's sort of prohibitively expensive to get a fleet big enough to actually have some fun. Because the guys, I'm going to call them a civ because let's be honest, that's what they are. The civ or species or, directorate or whatever that you end up having a sort of like, you're one big player and they're the other one. Like, they'll just either have nothing militarily or show up, like, if your maximum fleet is, 240 food or ships or whatever, and, that's 6,000 strength or whatever, they'll just come over the horizon with, like, 14,000, and I have no idea how they got it. But it's just so fun to, build satellite stations on these worlds and, go put down new colonies and then kind of build those up. And so I guess that's the part I'm liking. I'm like sort of liking the Civ City universe aspects of it. But I don't know that I'm ever going to finish a game. And it doesn't seem to matter whether it's me and 22 other Civs or me and just 3. Like, I still can't approach any of these win conditions. So I don't know why I keep playing it. I do. I don't know. Maybe there's an upgrade in there where I can take big cat robots and make a guy out of them or something.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Get your Voltron.
Yeah.
Get your Volter on, son.
Yeah. I would play a civilization where I could make Voltron. Like, that would earn my $60 right there.
Someone had to have modded that in, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's just a reskin for like the walkers at the end.
So
someone has to have done it.
So Voltron Season 2 came out. It's really good. So is Voltron Season 1. So Season 2, I actually thought they were going to end the series. because they just start wrapping shit up left and right and make it pretty clear where they're going, and then you get to the last episode and they're like, nope, here's a couple threads
Psych.
to make sure we can get another season, which was a weird feeling from the Avatar The Last Airbender people who are all about wrapping up a series and not going back to it. So, or at least going back to it 40 years later or something. But the like everything you liked from the first series is here. They have just equal amounts of good character development. All the characters are still pretty enjoyable. Like the first couple episodes are kind of the characters finding their way out of where they are stuck in, like in separately in different places. They get to form Voltron a little bit more this season, I think, too. My favorite episode is might be the one that takes place in the mall. I think.
What?
Yeah. They go to like a space mall. Like the one of the characters is like
It's
"No,
like
we
a
gotta
Sky
go to
Mall
this-"
upgrade.
Like one of the characters is like, no, we got to go to this black pirate trading outpost place, and you get there and it turns out that the evil empire you're fighting has taken the place over and put a
Is
mall
you.
security cop there. And so you go in trying, like they go in like trying to be disguised as these pirates. So the security guard sees them on the monitor, and they're like, they basically got like Mall Blart like chasing after him like the whole time.
Mall
they're in
Blart?
there, and
Mall Blart Paul Cop.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's a cute episode. Like it's not one of the serious ones, but
I love the idea of them getting the disguise that wrong. Like if you showed up to a cookie factory dressed as the Cookie Crisp burglar,
yeah,
like
Yeah.
you could not have gotten that more wrong, you know?
it's pretty good. It's a fun episode. They do a lot of weird, fun things in this, and you get to meet a lot more alien races and kind of get to see each character's skill set excel in different places, and you know, I'm starting to get like, because here's the thing, like one of the characters is named Shiro. Shiro was not in the original series. Shiro is the leader of the group. In the original series, Keith was the leader. So therefore, in both
Fucking Keith.
seasons, like you know in Hot Tub Time Machine, how they're constantly waiting for that dude to cut off his hand.
Fucking A.
That is me waiting for Shiro to die. Shiro is a really good character, but every like episode where he gets in trouble, I'm like, oh shit, is this it? Is this it? And it's not. But anyway, I did not just spoil anything just then, other than that Shiro probably lives more than you think he should. So, but it's a real good cartoon series.
That's a real dark fucking thing to say about anyone, dude. Whether it's a fictional character
Fictional
or
or not, yeah.
probably shouldn't still be living. Like, I was ready for him to die. Like, oh, that's whoa. Okay.
I feel that way about a lot of things in the country right now, but I'm not going to go down that road. So,
I think I might actually be ready to come back around on Voltron and give it another pass. This may be a series that I watch 2 episodes of every 3 months until I'm done with it.
dude, the episodes are 25 minutes long. You can watch all of season 1 in 3 hours.
I probably could, but then it'd be 3 hours of anime jammed all together in my brain back to
my
back,
God.
and
It's.
I don't have the capacity
No,
for that.
yeah, that'll give you a seizure.
I realize the animation studio is from Seoul, but like, come on.
Oh, the animation is beautiful. It's the anime-ass shit that they do, you know, where the people, like, their eyes get huge and they get these big pink circles on their cheeks. And, ah!
Yeah.
What? Ah!
Uh?
Yeah. It's, nope. I only have so much tolerance for that kind of bullshit, so I have to meter that out.
Okay.
Rationing.
Okay. Well, let's wrap this up, guys.
All right.
You
No tweets,
can
no emails.
email and tweet us. Like, if you want to brave the social networks,
You really can.
then you can tweet us at Carousel Podcast over on Twitter. You can join the Facebook, which I didn't check because I'm just avoiding Facebook for a bit, so I apologize.
That's probably a good policy.
I will.
You'll probably have a new reason to avoid Facebook a couple days here. Like, they just keep coming.
A couple days, you know, there are 11 reasons a day to fucking. Anyway. Anyway, visit the website, thecarouselpodcast.com, to catch up on any old episodes you might have missed. Buy my music on MusiM.bandcamp.com. My other podcast is going to record this weekend, which may be I'm not sure if I'll make the MP3 for this in time for it, but that would be sorry, Jake. That would be February 4th, and
That's picking up the pixels, correct?
yes, picking up the pixels. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a little bit confusing.
Yeah, this other podcast, I'm like, is he cheating on us? Is he doing
is.
another one that we don't know about?
Yeah.
No.
Like,
Basically,
he's being real cagey with the name here.
we basically talk about a bunch of RPGs over there only. So, but I do that with like TVG, one of the TVGP guys, Boston, and then Mina, who's a streamer, Minako Rocket. But I forget. I don't find you guys anywhere anymore, do I?
I mean, I have tweets. I do the tweeters, but
I believe my Twitter is now officially dead. Because I deactivated it and you have like 30 days to bring it back, and I think it's been that long. Just as I was telling John before the cast, like I don't want to have something in my pocket that I look at 6 to 8 times a day and just get angry. I don't need that. Like I don't need that in my life, and you know,
it's already in my pants all the time anyway.
Well, like straight up,
right.
the best decision I've made is uninstalling Facebook and Twitter from my phone. I have gained
Oh,
so
I
much
know,
time
man.
left. I don't wake up in the morning and look at social media the first thing. Like I have time to decompress and compose myself and not just be some dumbass when I look at it, you know. So
That's Carousel's tip of the bye week here is just
Yeah.
delete Facebook from your phone.
yeah, just do it. Just delete it.
Just
get
do
it
it.
off there.
You're not going to want to, but just do it.
It is a poisonous addiction. You are not one of the protesters by being on social media. So
It puts the dick back in addiction.
There you go.
so
On that note,
thanks for joining us, and we will see you here in 2 weeks. See you next turn.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So, titles. I'm glad
Okay.
you wrote stuff down, Jake.
Yeah, I got nothing this week.
I stretched on a couple of them, but they're there.
Okay. So, rigor mortis was dreamy.
Technically, the quote was rigor mortis is dreamy, which I think is funnier, but I may have misspoke it earlier.
Oh, okay. Scrotality.
That's my vote so far.
Shocking.
Syphilis.
I know. I have a theme.
Syphilis. Sci-fi list.
Syphilis.
Syphilis.
Yeah.
Sci-fi list. Yeah.
Questionable Quentin. I don't remember saying that.
You didn't. I had to massage that one a little.
Oh, okay. Get your Volter on?
Nope.
No? Okay.
No.
Mall Bart Paul Cop.
Mall Blart Paul Cop. Okay, I like that one too.
I think it's either the first one or the last one to me.
Let's go with the last. It's probably a bad decision because I've been drinking, but let's go with the last one.
Okay.
Mall Blart Paul Cop.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything that gets Kevin James back in the zeitgeist, you know, I think we really need to support.
Oh,
Can we get him back? Let's get him on the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us live. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.